This is Barbara Browning's testimony.
Hello, my name is Barbara Browning. My family moved to Treasure Island in 1969. At that time, I was 9 years old. We lived on the island until February of 1977. We lived at 1102A 13th Street, which is Halliburton Court. Our apartment was the closest to the grade school. While living on the island, I saw the Navy dermatologist who prescribed me the highest dose of tetracycline. The year that we moved away, I was 16 and had a horrible complexion. I had been treated by the military clinic with the maximum dose of tetracycline for at least 3 years before we left the island. After moving to Muskogee, Oklahoma, I saw my father's local doctor, and he informed me that I was at the maximum dose and that it was too high for somebody who had a complexion problem. And at the same time, I was diagnosed with ulcers. At this time, I was 17 years old, my junior year of high school. I was eating baby food for lunch. And at the time, they said the ulcers were due to stress moving from San Francisco to Muskogee, Oklahoma. Now science says that stress does not cause ulcers. In 1980, I had my first surgery to move a lump out of my breast. The doctors told us I caught it in time, and had they ignored it, the story would have been different. I was about 19, 20 years old at the time. In 1989, my appendix burst and had to be removed. In 1991, I had knee surgery. In 1995, at 35 years old, all my reproductive organs had to be removed. My mother was the same age, 35 years old, when she had to have the complete hysterectomy in the 70s. I was 35 in 1985 and had to endure the same surgery. We had tumors in our ovaries. Mine were the size of oranges. My mother was the size of grapefruit. My daughter is 37, and her tumor is in her uterus instead of her ovaries. It's the same size as a grapefruit, but because of the location of the tumor, it will be handled differently at this time. She is keeping her reproductive organs. My mother worked at the daycare center on Treasure Island. She was one of the first employees at that location. She is like me with many health issues. After my reproductive organs were removed in 2013, things got really interesting. I became allergic to foods for the first time. First it was avocados, then tree nuts, then strawberries, grapes, garlic, pineapple, corn, and the list was growing. I was never allergic to food before this, but suddenly I was having problems. In 2014, they removed pre-cancer sores in my mouth and throat. In 2015, more surgery to remove precancers in my mouth, and this time they found one near my optic nerve. In 2016, I had to have heel spur surgery. In 2017, my gallbladder quit working, so I had to endure another surgery to have it removed. In October 2019, I had a major surgery to fix a hole in my colon. After fixing the hole in my colon, finally my allergies went away. But I'm told that my allergies might come back, so I have to keep an EpiPen to administer a dose of epinephrine handy just in case it happens. With each of these surgeries, the doctors have said to me this only happens to 1% of the population. Since my first time writing this list, more issues have surfaced. I can also add knee surgery. For the first time I was 31. The doctors called it hairy knees. But recently I had to have the same surgery at 65, and it was better explained that for some reason my bones were shrinking and leaving jagged edges that destroyed the soft tissues such as ligaments and tendons. It's normal for someone at 65 to have the surgery, but not at 31 years old. My ears, nose, and throat specialist asked me a few questions. She told me that very recently she had met a person who had the same medical issues that I have. She asked the person, by any chance did you grow up on a nuclear waste dump? And the woman told her simply, yes, Chernobyl. My doctor talked to me more about where I lived, and she has since been documenting my progress. I have follow-ups with her every 6 months. I have been told that my next major issue will be a type of arthritis. I already have it in my hips. At the time, I truly did not know Treasure Island was so toxic. It wasn't until my 20th class reunion that my eyes were really open. Did I mention I belonged to two different high schools? One was in San Francisco, the other is in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I went to my first class reunion in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and the only people that had passed away out of the class of approximately 550 were from stuff like car wrecks and suicide. The Treasure Island reunion never happened. Over half my friends were already dead from cancers, and every family I had spoken to had been dealing with some form of cancer. My brothers did not suffer the same way as I and my parents had suffered. I suspect it's because they did not go to school on the island like I did, and they loved to play on YBI. They also did not start puberty until they left the island. My middle brother has had his gallbladder removed. My youngest brother hates doctors, but he is in fairly good health, except he has been dealing with arthritis. My mother had reproductive issues. My father had digestive issues. I got both, reproductive and digestive issues. My father is a pancreatic cancer survivor. My mother is one of 10 siblings. 3 of her siblings would come and visit us regularly. My Aunt Christine, she died of breast cancer. My Aunt Loretta also died of cancer. Then my Aunt Mona. My Aunt Mona stayed with us the longest. She has had the same reproductive issues and gallbladder issues. And I do think it was breast cancer that she has also been fighting. She had many health issues just like my mother and myself. My Aunt Mona was fortunate, though. She had great doctors and medical insurance. The other siblings are cancer-free at this time. Our unit was the one closest to the school. I could see the courtyard from my school out my bedroom window. From the same window, I can see the jail and the prison and the prisoners exercising in the yard. The school was used for many things such as father-daughter dances, square dancing lessons, and it had different places to play such as basketball and tetherball courts. Summer art programs were also held at this location. As kids, we were all over the base. On Halloween, we trick-or-treated every door in the housing units. We played in the playground. We dug in the dirt. We climbed on the rip-rap rocks that encircled the island. And yes, we entered restricted areas. We were kids. Someone asked me, what do I want? I want the record to show that I tried to warn people of the dangers of living on such a beautiful, toxic environment. The public hearing on Treasure Island toxicity was held on February 8, 2022 by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. I am totally insulted, angry, that after I testified, my words were changed in the transcripts. I do not have sores on my P-U-S-S-Y, and no time did I say so. I'm not expecting anything. I did this to my friends that are gone, that do not have the ability to speak up against such injustices. They should have told us we were exposed so we could have been more proactive with our health. Maybe it was the tetracycline that was able to combat the radiation and the chemicals, and that's why I'm still alive. And if so, more people need to know. I'm very fortunate I have medical insurance and that my doctors have not dismissed my illnesses like they did with my friends. But many of my friends who are now gone are not so fortunate, and for them I speak up about what has gone so wrong. Thank you for your time.